Hello YouTube, welcome back to Nutkin Farm. I'm standing at block 4 in the freshly harvested rows of 344s, which had some nuts to drop, but infuriatingly, the out of season flower, you'd swear it was September, but it's only June. So there you are. Anyway, I want to introduce you to two of my friends, or at least I feel friendly towards them because they've done a good, reliable job for me first. And over in this right corner here is my big old Kubota tractor. It's M4030, as I understand, vintage 1990s. And I think it started life working for a council in Western Australia before the previous owners of Nutkin Farm put it on a truck and brought it over. It's got a bucket at the front, although it can have forks. These were the good old Kubotas made entirely in Japan, and it has a V6 truck engine in it, and that's what they used to use in these tractors. And it's a four-wheel drive. You'd think with a V6 it'd have a really high horsepower. It's not. It's actually only 65 horsepower, but what a Trojan. And it's really looked after me lately. Its primary job is slashing, and attached to it is a Howard slasher, which is one of the better brands of slasher, I'm told. I don't know that personally, but apparently it's a good brand of slasher. Recently had a refurb because you can see there's new skids on the side of it, and its gearbox needed redoing, and so it's had a good new lease of life on the gearbox. What is a slasher? Well, you kind of have to look underneath it to see what it really is. It's basically a great big mower with a great big blade that you can see underneath. Great big boron steel blade. My mechanics got the source for very heavy duty blades, more heavy duty than the Howard blades that come with it, and slightly larger. And I must say, it's been doing a great job in long grass. The larger blade does put a little bit more load on the machine, so I find myself often in second gear, low range, as I go about the really thick grass. So that's one of my friends. Here's the other one, also Kubota. It's my zero-turn mower, the ZD1221 side discharge. Apparently Kubota's most popular zero-turn mower. You've seen this before in other videos, so I won't dwell on it. One modification you make from standard if you're on a macadamia farm is you can put these bear claw tyres on, which require you to get a new rim, a smaller rim than the rims it comes with, which are these fellas over here. These are the factory rims, which are very much turf tyres, lower profile, much lower tread than these ones here. But yeah, certainly having that thicker tread has got me out of a lot of trouble. Now, these two friends of mine have been working together in helping me recover my blocks from the flood and its enormous grassy growth that resulted and couldn't be got rid of until now, the middle of June 2022. Let me show you how. And here I am in block 6. Looks awful normal, doesn't it? But it's only normal because it's managed to get the treatment that I was hoping to give all of block 6. Now, what you see in the middle of the row, a fairly rough cut of the grass, is done by the slasher. Now, this grass was quite tall, and I'll show you what it used to look like in a minute in an area that's uncut. So yeah, the slasher's great at going down the middle of rows. Of course, it's not good at going around sharp corners and trees because it's on a big long tractor, and the turning circle is much wider than these individual trees will let you to do. And then, you know, the gaps between the trees aren't wide enough either in some cases. So what you do is you get the slasher to go down the middle, and you come and finish it up with the zero-turn mower, and you end up with basically clean rows. Now, I've done these particular rows because the trees are A16s and they haven't really dropped their nuts yet. So it's almost like pre-harvest preparation in a situation where for my old blocks I've already done the harvest. And the trees, as you can see, they're starting to drop their nuts. There's a few, you can see a few on the ground there. Now I've mowed over these nuts but haven't harmed them at all, and they still look like they could be picked up. As you can see there's still a fair few A16s on the tree. You know, so some on the ground, some yet to drop. And we sort of prepare that in the hope that we can pick them up in the next harvest run, which might be about 3-4 weeks away. But yeah, when you use this machinery in the wet, certainly the zero-turn mower is a little bit dangerous because you can get bogged easily. It's got 2 driving wheels, and if those wheels get in mud and start spinning, you're pretty much bogged. With a 4-wheel drive tractor, you can have 2 wheels spinning, but the other 2 can get you out so long as the other 2 aren't also in the bog. Now, slashing up and down block 6, it's fairly easy to show you what happened to me in a wet area of the block. You can see it in front of you now. Lots of tyre tracks. I had both sets of wheels on the tractor spinning. Luckily with these tractors, the rear wheels, which are massive, can often get you out of trouble when you reverse. But going forwards, they can spin as well. So I got myself into a nice little mess there. And I kept going, thinking that was a one-off. But when I went to the next row, this carnage you see here was a complete mess. And you can see from the long grass to the right of it, that's as far as I got. We've got chocolate pudding all over the ground. That's going to take a little while to dry up, although ironically it'll be quicker to dry up than if it was just under grass. But yeah, look, you know, when you get a warning sign like that, you can keep going, but when you get one like that, that's a message. You got to stop, or else you're going to break your equipment or yourself, and you're more valuable than the grass you're trying to chop down. So the point of this video though is that earlier in the season we did a herbicide round on the whole orchard, including this block, and the herbicide was good at killing everything adjacent to the trees. Okay, they don't herbicide the middle of the row that you see here, but they do herbicide under the trees. And the reason we do it is that we give ourselves a temporary reprieve from grass and things growing back again so that we can harvest. In this particular case, you know, the herbicide got down, but there was absolutely no way we could harvest because the flooding rains came and no one anywhere, flatland or sloping, could harvest until more recently. But putting down herbicide isn't a free lunch, because look at what grows up in its place. I have undesirable grasses here in the interrow. That's Soteria. It's a low-grade cattle grass that I have complained about many times on the channel, so I'm not going to bore you with that again. But when you spray herbicide under the trees, what you tend to get back is these weeds. Farmers' friends in this particular case is the dominant species here. And so you will get, unless you keep mowing, you will get a growth back of undesirable, although they're easy to get rid of, these weeds. You know, you can charge, they're about 4 foot high, but you charge through them with a mower and they just go straight down. Sometimes they leave a bit of a woody stem, but you know, nothing that'll annoy a harvester too much. But yeah, you come along here and you get a look at what grows back after a herbicide round. And this year was a sort of unique opportunity to show you that. Because, you know, generally speaking, you'd keep it mowed and these weeds wouldn't get a chance to grow back again. So, yeah, what do? Well, we do what I've done with these other rows. Slash down the middle, mow between the trees, get rid of the weeds, and then hopefully come along and under the grass that you've mowed, hey presto, there's some nut to harvest. So, you know, and those are my A16 rows. I'm going to have to come back again and resume slashing where that muddy mess left off once, you know, it's considerably drier. And Otherwise though, look, you know, for a very sick block when I took over the farm, it's actually looking reasonably healthy. The A16s are misbehaving a little bit and putting up some out of season flower, but there's some 660s like these ones, I suspect. 2 years running, they have not done out of season flower. They have been really well behaved, and they've flowered only when they were supposed to. And they're further up the block there, and there's still some A16s here, but further up the block there is no out of season flowering going on in the 660s at all. They're a very underrated, reliable variety, and I expect that their sort of non-identical twin, their 741, is also pretty well behaved when it comes to flowering when it's meant to. The other things I can do when it's as wet as this, and you've got to find, you know, jobs to tick off a very long list of flood recovery jobs, is to go around your babies and do some work on the babies. You know, I've been warned obviously that the rains have leached nutrient out of the soil. It doesn't seem to have caused any nutritional deficiency in the leaves or the flush as far as I can tell, but the babies do need some food, and so I've gone around my babies. This is a little A38 you see up ahead of you. Cleared the weeds around from the base, got rid of any basal growths, which there aren't in this particular one, and fed it some pelletized food, in this case Organic Life. Now that'll take a little while to break down. Even if it doesn't rain, there's dew and other things that will sort of break it down slowly, and the next time it does rain, of course, it'll get a lot more goodness into the soil. There's another couple of A38s there, looking relatively happy, and I'm heading off to the MCT ones next. So bottom line is, guys, yeah, don't treat herbicide like it's a free lunch. You do need to keep working on the tree row after you herbicide it. It's one of those necessary evils, and you know, you might well ask, well, look, what do you do it for then? You might as well just keep mowing it all the time. And look, some people do. If you look at episode 2 of the Macadamia show, Nick Savage has beautiful grass without weeds all the way under the base of his trees, and he's managed to keep that manicured and has never needed to use herbicide. Those of us who are a bit more absent, we do get that cycle of, you know, herbiciding and having undesirable weeds grow back. But you obviously have to work towards the situation that Nick does, where, you know, you keep the farm well maintained and the nuts end up just dropping on a well-mown surface. That is, at least until a flood comes along and ruins everyone's plans. But isn't it a lovely day now? You wouldn't have thought that it's been anywhere near rainy weather, but it's just lovely. Great time to do work if you can. A great time to be in the Northern Rivers if you do get a chance. If not, well, I'll keep posting videos as long as you keep watching them. Bye for now, guys.